Amiga Power! Yes! A magazine with attitude. So this is a little bit of something different where I'm going to look through some old Amiga Power magazines because I have them. Because my girlfriend is awesome and she bought me them as a present because of a story I will tell later. So let's just have a look. Let's just have a look at it. It's been a while since I looked at one of these. You know, I'm just on the first page. This isn't even part of the magazine proper. It's like an ad, so this is gonna be really hard to see. I'll put in some screenshots, possibly of some photographs of this if it's easier to see. Like, this is where you used to buy Amiga games from the front of the magazine. You know, before the internets, you had to do. You'd send them a fucking thing in the post. You know, you'd fill it. Look, you'd fill out an order form and stuff, and it was a weird, different time. I always wanted one of these. An Overdrive. No, that's the CD-ROM. What's this? Yeah, an Overdrive hard drive, 170 megabytes for 170 quid. Yeah, crazy. Like it just slots into your Amiga from the side there. But I never got any upgrades for my Amiga. I just got a PC, and these guys would be so ashamed of me. I mean, I got it for my birthday. Anyway, the point is, this has got the top 100 Amiga games of all time in it. Look at this. Number 1 is Sensible Soccer. Are you sure? And Monkey Island 1 and 2 is a joint number 7. That doesn't sound right. Like, which of these stood the test of time? Fucking Guardian or Monkey Island 1 and 2. Micro Machines. This game is impossible. Like, it's just you can't not fall off the edge. It's got the Grand Theft Auto 1 problem. I mean, it's fun, but is it as good as Monkey Island? Yeah, and there we see. That's the reason. It's bollocks. Yeah, I disagree. Cannon Fodder probably should be at number 4. Actually, Cannon Fodder should be at number 1. Gravity Force 2. I've never played this because it's I've never played this on the channel because it's multiplayer only. If I washed up alone on a desert island with an Amiga, Gravity Force 2 is the game I'd choose. No, hang on. Yeah, because it's only 2-player. It's kind of a cool game though. It's like a physics shooter thing, but it's not better than Monkey Island 1 and 2. Are you serious? Anyway, Pinball Illusions. It's funny because a lot of these games I didn't know about in the old days, like D-Generation, Shadow Fighter, Civilization I did play. I love the compositing here. It's kind of cool, but it's also just kind of thrown together. Sorry about the focus, I'm trying to make it work. I've thrown together this setup out of my phone and a weird Android app and some stuff. Elite at 64. Oh yeah, these guys didn't like Frontier. They hated Frontier. They were wrong. I can't believe how wrong they were. Tetris Pro. I wonder why they liked it. There's still so many of these I haven't played. I should do more Amiga streams. I should play the Amiga Power Top 100, shouldn't I? I should go through the whole list. That's a good idea. I'm not going to play all the soccer ones though. There's too many soccer games. Oh, that's an interesting take. Lemmings 2, the good one. Huh. People thought I thought it was kind of universally accepted that it was not as good as the original, but controversy. Oh, I see how it is. Cannon Fodder 2 gets a separate entry from Cannon Fodder way down at the bottom, but Monkey Island 1 and 2 get a single entry? Huh, okay, be that way. Bob's Bad Day. That's an existential nightmare. It's a floating face with everything rotating. It's horrible. I mean, look at this title screen. That's not okay. Oh, the nausea, the horrible, horrible nausea. Why? I never heard of this one. Koala. Not a misspelled Australian tree-climbing eucalyptus-eating marsupial. No. It's a flight sim, only without the boring realism stuff. And it's mouse-controlled to give you the extra freedom of movement. Being a freelance killer, yes, you can blast ambulances. Hurrah! Some things won't go away even if you beat them with a shovel. We curse them and wish them a speedy descent to Hades. Stargate. They hated the movie Stargate. We're the only mag that dares to reveal the utter terribleness of this movie. Is this about Amiga games or is it about movies? I mean, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I don't really remember it very well. I just like Stargate SG-1. I mean, even though it is military propaganda. But it's fun. Yeah, look at this. We have only ever and can only ever tell the truth. Some magazines may be the mouthpieces of software companies, yet we strived to protect you by questioning, not being part of their often cynical sales campaigns. So it's not that other people have different opinions and they're all valid, because it's a matter of subjective opinion and whether some people like a game or not. If someone else disagrees with you, it's because they're a corporate shill and they're wrong. Look how much they hate Valhalla. 19%. Whereas other people gave it 44 and 94. Yeah, it is a bit kind of crazy how different people have different opinions. Who'd have thought it? Okay. Amiga Action are bullshit for giving Rise of the Robots 92%. That is bullshit. Mystery Screenshot Corner. I don't recognise that. Does anyone know what that's from? Interesting. Answers in the comments and you win nothing. They have an article here just about screens that show insert disk 2 screens. Have you ever been suddenly unable to recall what a floppy disk looks like? Probably not, thanks to the cunning design of many of today's games. It was terrible in the old days. You'd have slain the dwarven armies of Gorolsk, battled across the plains of Horaxian, and made your ways to the shores of the Sea of Uncertain Despair. Suddenly, a ferocious three-headed serpent would rise from the sea, let forth a terrible cry, and advance towards you. Edging backwards against the beach, you'd find yourself pressed up against the cliff behind you, with nowhere to escape to and the foul beast breath beginning to sting your eyes. Only your trusty sword of Golroth could save you now. But before the action could continue, a discreet message would appear in the corner of the screen asking you to insert Disc 2. You'd be thrown into confusion. Disc 2? What is this word disc? It seems to have become somewhat immersed in the game's carefully crafted atmosphere, its loving depiction of a strange and distant land, that I've completely lost the ability to cope with 20th century concepts. A problem compounded by my evidently limited intelligence. If only it would illustrate its request in some way, perhaps turning the whole screen black as it does and keeping me updated on its progress in intricate technical detail before lurching abruptly back to the shores of Sea of Uncertain Despair and expecting me to resuspend my sense of disbelief and carry on as if nothing had happened. Progress is a wonderful thing. I mean, it's cool. I like it. Who doesn't like a lovingly rendered pixel art floppy disk? I mean, look, that's cool. Insert this true into device DFO. I mean, what's wrong with making it look nice? Why are you complaining about this, you wankers? This is my favourite Amiga magazine as a kid. Look at that, it's got a helicopter on it. That one's a bit shit. Ooh, TFX. We don't know what it stands for either. Everyone was like so insane about 3D in these days. It was the shit. And it was shit sometimes, a lot. I wonder what the frame rate on this thing is like. They have a different review depending on if you have an A4000 or an A1200. Do you ever see that today? You never see that. Like, if you've got a shit graphics card, this game gets a lower rating. You know, now it's just, you'd better have the graphics capability to deal with this, or you suck. It's like, it is an interesting way to compare it. Like, you know, if you don't have the hardware, it's not as good a game. I mean, legitimately, especially with these old games, because it would run so poorly that you can barely play it. No game review these days even hints at the idea that it's just look at the system requirements. It's not our fault if you don't like football boring. Super Loops with a Z. Because it's the 90s. 29%. I mean, it's just a basic puzzle game, really. We disdain its improper use of the alphabet. I agree. It's funny how games that would have been like full retail releases in the old days are now. This would be a casual mobile game, if anything, you know, or some free web game. You wouldn't see it released in a box. It's a really different time. When I were a lad, a whiz was something you did in the toilet, not a 3D platform game. Have I played this? I don't think I have. There's still so many Amiga games I haven't played, but it looks a bit too cutesy. Imagine the world of tomorrow and be disappointed because the CD32 was not that great. It's an Amiga 1200 without the keyboard and floppy drive, you know. Oh wow, they took submissions from from the viewers. I mean the readers. The sexy girl from Frustrated Adolescent entries. More than 35 near-identical dominant women in skin-tight costume characters. Okay. That's kind of cool, though. That's the winner. Bubba. The scary muscle clown. Yeah, okay. That is kind of terrifying. I guess these are entries for, like like a make a Street Fighter 2 type character. Bulb Man. He looks like the illegitimate child of Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and Mr. Blobby. For Condon. Back in my day, we had to look up cheats in a magazine, not online. Everything. There was no online. There was just magazines. We had to buy this shit. We had to get discs. We had to get demos on the front of a magazine. It was really cool, actually. It's mostly the reason I bought these things. Then I just read the damn thing out of sort of obligation, and to get the reviews, obviously. Although they didn't like Frontier, I can't believe it. Did I mention this was going to be very stream of consciousness? Probably not. But so this is why I have these. Because, okay, story time. There was an archive of Amiga Power magazines I found, and there was a gap. And I knew that I had written in to this magazine about Beneath the Steel Sky, right? And I wanted to find my letter, which went into Last Resort, because I was stuck at the part where you have to get Joey to cut a red cable that just looks like part of the background. Looking through the archives that I found online, I didn't see my letter, so I assumed it must be in the gap where there was some of the magazines weren't archived. And I mentioned to my girlfriend that it was one of these numbers, and so she went and fucking found these on eBay and bought all of them for me so I could find them. But you know what? It's not here. I've looked through it all like 3 times, and I've looked through the archives again, and she even found a complete archive online. I'll link to that, actually. It's really high quality scans, and it's not there, right? The letter that I wrote in is not there. I remember writing the letter. I remember reading the damn reply, because the only reason I was able to finish the game is because I found out about that. But you know what this means? Is that I actually found that out some other way, and I conflated the memory. So, like, I was so sure of this. Like, I had evidence. The fact that I was able to finish the game was the fact that it meant that I found it, but I didn't. I just conflated this memory, and it was so real to me. And reality is a lie, and nothing is real. I'm going mad. But you know, it's just either that or I'm from a parallel universe where I did write in. I'm not sure where the deviation happened, but I know that C-3PO did not have a silver leg. Yeah, Cannon Fodder was good. Cannon Fodder was really good. It was too hard. I could never get very far in it. Ishar 2. I never played these. They're like first-person dungeon crawly things, but look at the graphics. Look at the huge, scene that you have. Should I play these? I mean, it only got 69%. Nice. But, if you like role-playing games, you'll probably like this. There, I said it, and I'm unrepentant. However, I think Jonathan overrated it a little when he originally reviewed it. I see. Oh, yeah, this is the budget release. Should I play this? Tell me. Should I play all of them? Ah, yes, PD, which is short for Public Domain. So basically, they're games that were released for free on, like, I don't know, the old bulletin board systems, the pre-internet, the pre-World Wide Web, I suppose you'd say. I never really played many of these. Like, only the ones that came on the demo discs, but you could, like, buy compilations. There's loads of ads in this about... Yeah, there's a bunch of them here. Like, you'd buy a catalogue, and you'd get... they're essentially... They're free to distribute, right? They're public domain. So the only real cost is the distribution cost. So they'd put, like, a bunch of them on these discs and distribute them, but I never really did that. I wonder how many of these have been lost to time. There's so many of them. I'm sure a lot of them got archived, but maybe not all of them. Now, here's something that makes it clear that this is from an entirely different age. Hi, I'm a crazy 20-year-old male who owns an A1200, looking for female pen pals aged 16 to 99 years. So get writing, ladies. What the fuck? Also, it includes people's real address. Like, their home address. Of 14-year-olds and shit. That, like, a 14-year-old girl looking for with her fucking home address. Like, this, can you imagine this happening today? Like, the parents would lose their fucking minds. Mad graphics artist would like friend who can program. I say yes to anyone. Must like rock, male or female. I mean, they also just have people like selling secondhand games and stuff, which is cool. But yeah, I'm gonna have to blur out all of these phone numbers and stuff. I mean, I don't think there's any chance that these are still legit numbers, but just for the sake of covering my ass. Okay, so that's one magazine. Achtung! Ein Magazin mit Stellung. Whatever that means. What does it mean, Dreddy? So yeah, aside from the fact that I had an existential crisis and stopped believing in my own memories, this was cool. This was a really cool, like, trip back through memory lane and stuff. Oh yes, Doom on the Amiga too. This was this thing, like, everyone was talking about, oh, the Amiga can't do Doom. Is there a Doom on the Amiga? There was a bunch of games that tried to be like Doom, like apparently Poom. The Amiga just couldn't do it, right? Even though Doom can run on a pregnancy test these days, and on your humble Amiga it just wouldn't do it. And there were so many games trying to do it, but yeah, at the same time they were saying, oh, don't get a PC, PCs are for losers. And it's like, well mate, people want to play Doom. And yeah, fucking Death Mask is not even close. I played this on stream, it's so fucking bad. It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. Hello. Actually, it's pretty fucking terrible, because there's no dodging. Because it's tile-based movement. Ow, ow. It's just two people just standing perfectly still, shooting at each other until one of them dies. Death Mask is undeniably fun. No, I deny that. Valhalla Before the War is a 1982 text adventure with graphics. Go East. Yeah, I guess I just don't like adventure games, unless it's Monkey Island, and then it gets number 7. What the fuck is this advert doing here? This is a magazine marketed to fucking 14-year-olds. I just like looking at all this stuff. Like, all the cool pixely screenshots. Jungle Strike 2. It's just really cool. This part of the magazine was actually really helpful. It had like just little tiny mini reviews of all the... well, not of all the games, of some of the games. So you could get a good idea, even if you didn't have the magazine that had the full review. Look at that, a full page ad for UFO Enemy Unknown. The best game I've ever seen. I mean, it's definitely one of the best games on the Amiga. Oh no, Mortal Kombat on the Amiga. It wasn't good. I bet they thought it was good, but it isn't. Our research uncovered very little about noob. This was long before noob was known as a term for a newbie. It was just because it's Noob Saibot, right? That's Tobias Boone, which apparently they're thinking he's called Ed Boone. Is Ed short for Tobias? I don't think so. Inaccurate information. Fake news. Fake noob. Oh, and while we're at it, why not Street Fighter 2? Super Street Fighter 2. Yeah, let's play a 6-button fighting game with 1 button. That's gonna work. Frontier 2. Never happened. Well, not on the Amiga. Yep. There's another reason I wanted to move to the PC, because it had First Encounters, Elite 3, and then later Elite 4, which was... yeah. So why exactly are helicopters so cool? Good question. They can hover, turn tightly, and even fly backwards. Like a bee. See, I like helicopter games because helicopters, you know, like they're agile, they're powerful, and they're not too fast. Like the problem with a jet fighter is it's always going really fucking fast past everything. I mean, it doesn't hurt that there's some great games based on it, like Z-Wolf, Gunship 2000, Desert Strike. This one, on the other hand, was not good. Oh yeah, Z-Wolf. I did a video just about this game when I thought about doing like edited content, like properly well thought out content. That didn't last very long, but yeah, such a cool game. It really holds up. This is one of the games that really holds up from those times. 90%, yes. Z-Wolf was simply great, and a convincing argument for the more frequent placement of helicopters in games. Oh dear, this is what happens when you get killed. Oh wow, there was a PD Beavis and Butthead game. It was just the Wild West back then, you know. You could get away with, I mean, no one cared, right? I guess they weren't charging money for it, so... I remember Putty had just an audio sample from Woody Woodpecker. I think it was Woody Woodpecker, it was something. Yeah, like, you know, man, it's like really cool to use a lawnmower. Yeah. I wonder if this is good. Jesus Christ. That's... what the fuck? This one's about football. Boo! It also has this It's a Skull remix thing. It's terrible. Also, Gravity Power, which is just Gravity Force 2 again, but like Amiga Power themed and better apparently. So here's a little bit of a sort of indication of the demise, the ongoing demise of Commodore. Unfortunately, Escom bought it, and after a year after that, it went bankrupt. I was looking it up, and then the story gets very complicated from there, and like it gets passed around from different companies, and just no one ever really does anything with it from that point on. It's too bad, really. This is interesting. There's a German adventure game called Urban der Erde, or Inherit the Earth, which apparently there were a bunch of German adventure games that never got translated to English. Ross Scott covered one on Game Dungeon, which he had some kind of translation program so he could understand it. Yeah, and it's got like anthropomorphic animal characters. Has anyone played this? Any Germans in the audience played this one? Is it good? Ah, yes, this is one of their sort of parody things about, oh yes, you want a PC, don't you? It's terrible to want a PC because Amigas are better. I mean, they're cool, mate, but they don't have Doom. Just to illustrate that, right on the next page is a really poor Doom clone attempt. Grrr. How many bloody football management games do there need to be on the Amiga? Look at this. Look at this. There's loads of them. It's the same goddamn game. You're just remaking it. It's mental. Tower of Souls. Never heard of this one either. Hell's bells. It smells of spells. Oh, you can make spells and alchemy stuff. That's kind of cool. Oh. That's too bad. Dull, dull, dull. Never mind. Why is there random anime stuff in here? Huh? What? Existentialism. Okay. So yeah, I wonder where I actually heard about that Beneath the Steel Sky solution and why I thought it had something to do with my letter. But I remember writing the letter. Like, I wrote it specifically because I also remember reading their reply, because I laid out everything I'd done, and they said something like, wow, you've been busy, but the one thing you missed is this. And like, I remember it like vividly. But I mean, some people have suggested I could have written into a different magazine, but this was the only one I bought. I bought multiple of. Like, the other magazines I would occasionally buy because they had a really enticing cover disc, but this I bought every edition of this. So this is the one I would write into. Doesn't make any sense for it to be any other one. Cyber games, dude. So there was a completely rambly little look at some old Amiga Power magazines. Were you an Amiga Power reader back in the day? Or did you prefer a different magazine that wasn't quite so with attitude? Okay, thanks for watching, and more stuff later, Natch. Thanks for watching. See you next time.